Giganto. Hey Jose,
Hey Ryan.
so we've now tried to record this 6 times. Um, and essentially, the first time there was a lot of audio issues. Each time since, it's just been hard to re record these because, given Jose knows about the game, given I've already tried to kind of tell him about it, it's hard for us to really have a discussion as to what is going on in the game. And so the idea here was I'm going to be playing, given Jose knows a little bit about it, I'm going to have him explain what he thinks the game is or what he feels the game is, and then essentially I'll go back and either agree or disagree, and we'll kind of have a little discussion as to what Sludge Life is, and hopefully a roughly 10 to 15, maybe 20-minute intervals. So I'm gonna be playing here. Um, Obviously, what you see here is I'm just kind of a dude in the world. So what do you think this game is, Jose?
So from my understanding of what I feel the game is like, it's kind of like a parkour platforming game where you run around and look for things to tag with your spray can. There's indicators on the walls that indicate where you can put your paint can in it, and you can talk to people, interact with them in terms of trying to figure out a bit of their story and what they're into. I know that they're on this island for whatever reason. I guess it has to do something with the government. Not really sure. There's this big corporation that is in charge of everything.
That'll be
Of
Glug.
Glug,
So
yeah.
yeah, what you see here.
And uh, I don't really know much past that. I just know that there's like this one storyline. I want to say storyline where essentially you have to try to get off the island. Uh, but again, I
Don't
don't
worry, I'm just
understand why.
just taking a casual piss here.
And there's interesting characters that you can learn more about, but you don't really do much with them, I guess.
Um, so yeah, building off of everything that you're saying, pretty much, you're right in a lot of ways. This game is very parkour, platformy heavy, and that everything you've kind of seen this far, like you can climb up just about everything that there is in the world. There's matter of fact, there's a character that when you talk to him, it literally is very blunt about the fact that like you don't need any help to get somewhere. You can climb wherever you want with no assistance from items or whatever the case may be. And so the general gameplay loop is going to be, you're kind of jumping around, climbing across stuff to find these tag points like what I just did and tag those points. In your pause menu, you can see your progress. There's up to 100 tags that you can tag ultimately. And after you reach a certain milestone, kind of what you see here, you can go do a combo tag with one of the other taggers that's on the island. So as you can see here, there's about 5 of them. And so Hans here is the little hand. I could go do my combo tag with him, which should be 4 more tags, because each of the combo tags is essentially 4 tags altogether, which then will, push me towards the next milestone, and allows me to do more tags. And once I complete all of these tags, that would get me one of the game's endings. There's 3 endings in this game, and as you can tell, each time I press start, I'm essentially pulling out this laptop and I'm chucking it forward, and it's kind of like the general gist of how this game is. It's kind of weird, kind of goofy. So like I found this camera, and this camera, same idea. When you're done using it, you just chuck it. Same with the spray paint cans. Like when you're done using whatever, you just chuck it, but it comes back as soon as you use it. And so with the camera, you can like zoom in, zoom out, take photos. And so that means like all your photos that you take, you can go into your pics. Got a picture of a little kitty here, and a picture of this guy, and a picture of his crotch, and a picture of that cat's butthole, and get a picture of those dogs sniffing each other's buttholes, and a picture of that kid, and then the picture we just took. And there are a few other items in the game, kind of like what you see here. There's a glider, a warper, a vandalize. Vandalize essentially will just allow you to, just to let viewers at home know, I've already beat this game, I've already gotten all the endings. Have I done absolutely everything there is to do in the to-do list? No, but I've essentially done everything there is to do in this game. So like the glider, essentially just when you're in the air, you can hold RT, and that's going to let you glide down to the ground, or let you cover further horizontal distance whilst you're in the air. The warper, you can set a warp point to then hit another button and teleport back to that warp point wherever you want. And then the vandalize is to allow you to essentially they point you in the direction of the nearest untagged tag. And to find those items, there's nothing that prevents you from getting them. It's really just going and finding them. Everything in this game is, there's no walls. There's nothing that really like prevents you from getting anywhere. Like from a progression standpoint, it really is just you going and figuring out how to get there pretty much. So like to get up to that tag, if I didn't suck so much, you know, obviously I'm just essentially going to be finding a way to climb from here, hopefully jump up on here, there we go, and then, you know, make my way downtown, and hopefully find a way up there to get that tag. And so, I mean, your major goal is pretty much just going to be getting all those 100 tags. There are some other like side kind of things that you can do that aren't really like objectives. They're just fun little things to do. And I would say that's pretty much the majority of what this world is just talking to people, kind of getting a gist of what goes on here, and kind of seeing what the world is about. Yeah, so there's a couple more tags. And so, like, let's see. This guy I didn't even notice until we were doing one of our recording sessions. Talk to him. Hey, how's it hanging? Come here to deal with my depression.
Well,
doesn't help. I used to come here and use a camera. Now I would come up here and chain smoke ciggy cigs. Then it was Zooms. Nothing ever helps.
damn.
Literally tried every distraction this dump can dream up. I'm still sadder than a goldfish in a shot glass. Sorry I'm getting so dark. Never mind me. What you need is a glider to lift your spirits. Saw some tagger dude with huge hands using one last week. And so he's kind of giving me an idea as to where the glider might be, which, like I could just go get that now, which we might as well do, just to kind of get an idea as to where the items are. Matter of fact, while we're doing that, you can die in this game, like I just did. Given I don't have the glider, I will take fall damage and I will essentially die. And that led to me dying and going to this little hospital here. And then you can talk to pretty much everybody. He does not want to talk to me.
Don't talk to me unless you're dead or dying.
Yeah, and so like given I've now died once, I have this life loop. Essentially, this is going to tell me I have a balance, and in which I'm in debt to life loop for essentially having revived me or saved my life or what have you. And so I'm going to kind of ignore some of the tags for now. You will see other taggers tags throughout the world. So like there's Double, which is one of the essentially taggers. There's Hans, which that dude just mentioned earlier as having large hands. We're going to go find him and get the glider here in a second. And while I'm at it, I'm going to kind of show, let me see.
I guess, is anyone ever happy or like for living here?
No, everybody hates it here. Essentially, the idea of this world, from my understanding, is that there's essentially a corporation, kind of like what Jose mentioned, called Glug, in which they make this soda and pretty much everything else on the island. So there's a place called Burgermon, which is like your traditional like burger joint. Think of like a Burger King or McDonald's, and they own that, and they own just pretty much everything that this island has to give. So here's the vandalize. So that's pretty much all it takes. Is you walk up, you find the item, and now you have the item. It'll tell you what to do with it. Didn't exactly explain to me what this does. I realized only after the fact what it did. And then so like this is the tagger named King. And so he is like, he's an old man obviously. He seems to be one of like the progenitors of tagging here on this island. One of the forefathers of it, I guess is how you could put it. There's these little collectibles and these banana slugs that you can eat. As I kind of mentioned before, there is a to-do list that you can find if that's what you want to do. It's not really super important that you find the to-do list or complete anything on it. It's more so to just gives you little objectives for you to complete whilst playing the game if you really need some sort of like direction or whatever the case may be. Because I would say kind of part of what's I would say something that I appreciate about the game is how directionless it is, given that it kind of just like you drop into the world and you just kind of go and explore. A lot of this game is just exploring the world, talking to people, and kind of figure out a lot of the oddities that exist in it. And yeah, given a lot of these people wearing these jumpsuits work for Glug, pretty much everybody's on strike right now, and so they're not interested in doing any work. And so this dude just not hanging, he's just hanging from his hair. How that happened, I don't know. But so anyways, we're pretty close to where the glider is. So now we have the vandalize. So like if I wanted to use the vandalize, that's literally telling me, okay, there's a tag up there. That's my closest tag. I would have to get to that to get that tag, but we're not going to do that right now. And so same idea, Siggies, being this little mascot guy here. Glug, I'm assuming, also owns them. And so pretty much everything on this island that exists is some sort of their claw, ultimately. And this is another tagger's art. He's a fly man. He has a big fly head. Here's Hans. So, oh fuck. Excuse me. Oh frick. That's not what I wanted to do. We can tag this while we're here. Well, that sucks. Okay. The game's pretty forgiving, so given the fact I was kind of able to jump on this roof, even though it was pretty slanted, I was just fortunately able to jump my way back up. So anyways, here's the glider. Much like the vandalize, once you collect it, you just have it, and it's kind of the gist of it. And then I can talk to him. And you can see he's got large hands. And so now I've got the glider, I could talk to him a little bit more. Now that I have talked to him, and I found him, and I mentioned earlier about those combo spots, so now for both Mosca and him, I can go and do our combo tags as necessary, here and there.
You just threw the laptop at his face.
Ah, that's okay, he'll be fine. And so, kind of same idea, like if I were to use the glider, now I can glide around and kind of get to stuff like this, which I don't think would be possible without the glider. If not, or if it is, it was certainly very hard for me to figure that out. And jump over here. So now you see new combo spot available. And so now on that billboard, Hans is sitting up there, and I could go up there and essentially combo tag with him. And then so, talk to this guy. Shoot that rock, yo. That means play basketball. I'll just be here silent judging you. I mean supporting you. Sprained both my ankles last week downloading this huge file, so I gotta lay low. Feel free to throw the ball at me though. And so, as I've done this many times, see if we can get on the first try. Nope. That was pretty bad. That was pretty good. That's There's no real science to this. It'll just go in at some point or it won't. There we go. And so I can throw this ball at him. He will hit it away. And that's kind of really the most of the game. A lot of it is just going to be you kind of exploring around, learning about the world, talking to different people, kind of seeing just how destitute everything is. And it's kind of the gist of it. I don't really know if there's much else to go into. Like, there's these little teleport pads here that will allow you to teleport to other ones that you've unlocked. So you can teleport back here to the stacker where that one guy was hanging. And then there you are. So now we're here. And I can glide way over here. And I can tag this stuff. And then I can go over here. Talk to this dude who's looking for his snakes. I don't want him back or anything, but thought I should let everyone know.
I guess by this point, would you be able to get one of the endings?
Pretty much from the very beginning of the game, there's like actually some speed runs that like are a minute and a half to, like, you know, depending on how quick the people are, but you can beat the game within, like, presumably like a couple minutes, because if you essentially start the game and just run right to where the endings are, given there are 3 of them, so one of them is like climbing this tower and escaping the island. Another is going, I can't really like show from here without just walking over there, but kind of off in that distance, not very far. It wouldn't take me long to get there. There's another ending in which involves you blowing up the island, and then as you can see, everybody's on protest. They're not too happy with Glug. And then there's a third ending, which is what they refer to as the weird ending, in which is pretty much just you just collecting all the tags, and that's pretty much it. So once you get all 100, you can do the weird ending of the tags. Let me see here.
So there's nothing that prevents you from doing it right out the get-go?
No, not really. I mean, I think to do the good ending, you probably have to have at least the teleporter. Oh, I didn't even notice this person before. Can't even fart. And so yeah, that kind of gives you an idea as the general ideas how most of the people feel about this world. And kind of like what she was mentioning, ultimately, supposedly what led to the protests themselves is here's this big statue, right? And oh, the head fell off, and then uh-oh, looks like someone squashed under there, and that's supposed to be Siggy the mascot. And so that little red-headed guy here with the cigarette in his mouth, that was a man in there, and so everybody got mad because he got crushed. Supposedly that's all it is. And so you walk around, you find these softwares, which is what I just picked up there. When you do that, that is the one that unlocks, in this case, the to-do list. So this kind of gives you the, like what I mentioned, those little side objectives that you don't have to complete. It just kind of gives you an idea of all the things you can do in the game. So the good ending, bad ending, weird ending, as I mentioned, steal the diamonds, get all the items, hit every zoom spot, install every app. And as you can see, there's not a ton of stuff to do here. It's really just kind of like collecting what needs to be collected, like collecting the 20 Siggies, and you know, like there's a piece of software that's like a little mini game called Crypt Keeper that gets installed here on your laptop. It's a pretty simple little mini game. It doesn't take very long. It's not super hard, and there's about 20 levels to it, so it may take you about, I don't know, like 15 minutes at most to complete a run of and complete that. Still never figured out, I don't think, quite what Kiss My Eggs was, but that is also an option. Not sure what it's related to. You can eat some random like bird eggs and things along those lines that are around on the ground, but I don't think it ever unlocked for me. And so, kind of like what you see here, like I could shoot a basketball in the trash can and get that completed as well. You know, all these pop-ups off the screen. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I think you have to have the teleporter to complete the good end. So like, essentially you'd go up here. I'm now in the CEO's office. There's this little button down here. I'm kind of giving away quite a bit of what to do here, but and you go up here, and now I'm in the CEO's office. And what do you know? He's got some double art. He's got some drugs. He's got some diamonds. I'm gonna take his diamonds. I'm gonna tag in his bathroom. He's got a big old doggy over here. And then here's the CEO himself. You can't do anything with him, which kind of sucks. But you can spit in his food. And then, yeah, it kind of just leads you up here to the roof. And this is where the last item that I don't have, being the teleporter, comes in handy. And that anytime you try and get through this door, you just can't.
What if you jump over the X?
It don't matter. Because there's someone watching us on a security camera, and as a matter of fact, I can go talk to that person, and like so like up there you see there's like a little like almost like a little jet. That's the good ending, essentially. I don't think there's a way for you to get up there without that teleporter. So like, for example, and so like everything in this world is connected, I'd say. Like figuring out why that door is closing, you can come over here, you know, do these little tags, because why not? Crap. Okay. And I could go into this door and talk to this person. This door is locked from the outside, so I have to do that to get in here. One tagger keeps trying to get through the security door. Looks like some kind of dirty smurf or a little goblin guy. That's not us. That's a different guy.
Really?
Yeah. I love pressing this button at the last second, just slamming the door in his ugly little adorable face. Come on back, little goblin guy. Daddy wants to drop this door on you. So as you can see, there's that little X on the ground there on his screen. So that's why every time that we're trying to go in there, this dude's here stopping us. So that's where we need the teleporter. And he is referring to, or she, or whatever. Fudge. They. Fudge. Why is it not letting me jump? Jump. There we go. Referring to this little goblin guy.
Oh.
His name's Uzi. And so yeah, it's all kind of interconnected. Everybody that you talk to is going to talk about someone else, and so once you go find that person, it kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, okay, so this is who they were talking about, and so on and so forth. To where it's a very interconnected world. It's interesting to explore. You've already seen at least a little bit of it, but haven't like gone into all the different areas here. But that kind of is Sludge Life. Sounding good to you, Jose? Anything else we might have missed?
No, that's everything.
Oh, right. One thing that I forgot to mention, even though it's not super important, you may have told, like, you may be able to tell from the recording we did for High Hell that this game shares a very, very similar aesthetic and art style. Pretty sure this is made by the same people. It literally reuses assets from that game, and that there are different things in this world, like these planks and things along those lines, that were quite literally assets in High Hell. So if you liked High Hell, you'll probably like this, and I like both of these games, both High Hell and this, and would recommend them both pretty heartily to just whomever. So, anywho, thanks everybody. Thanks, Jose.
No problem.